Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Taroscopes again. I'm going to be doing the Taroscopes for the sign of Gemini. That's Gemini Sun, Moon, or Rising for the month of June, your month, Gemini, or one of your months, actually. May is also one of your months. So we want to give those May Geminis their due. All right. I'm going to look at how the astrology of um, the moment that we're in, the month that we're in, affects the sign of Gemini first, and then I'm going to do a tarot reading, and then an oracle pull. So that's what we're doing here. And I just have to find Gemini. Okay, Gemini. 2, 3. Okay, here we go. Alrighty. So, of course, as I said, June is one of your months, Gemini, and so for the Gemini, the Sun is in your sign, Mercury is in your sign, and Jupiter, the planet of expansion, is in your sign. So, for the most part, the beginning part of um, the month is really quite good for Gemini. You have the planet of that rules your sign in your sign moving forward. You have the sun there in Gemini, and you also have Jupiter, which has spent about a year in Gemini. And later in the month, we'll actually move into Cancer. So Jupiter changes signs this month for you, and so the Jupiter moves from your first house, which people uh, Jupiter going through the first house sometimes can expand your waistline. So not everybody's thrilled about that part of Jupiter going into Gemini or into your first house. But it does allow you to sort of put yourself out there, perhaps in a bigger way than you ever have before. And now, as Jupiter moves into that second house, your resources start to grow. Jupiter in the second house in Cancer, as it moves into Cancer. But it's based on what the energy that you've already put out. It's sort of like you're pulling in the energy back in. But the problem with Jupiter is that it can be easy come, easy go. So as Jupiter moves through that second house over the next year, your resources will increase, but your bills could also increase. So you want to see if you can find a way to save some of that, put it aside, be really, because Jupiter can be a wild ride through that second house. But when it gets out of that second house, the money dries up. So you don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that as you're, even if you're not making all that much money, just if you make a certain amount and all you can put away every month is $50, put the $50 away. Say, all right, what am I have $50 that I can't spend. I won't buy this, I won't buy that. We buy stuff all the time. You're a little hungry, we went to Wendy's. We don't really go to fast food places. Michael's such a good cook. We don't usually even go to restaurants because he mostly does such a good job. But it's like $20, $25, I think it was, for like two like specials, like just hamburger and a chicken sandwich with the fries and stuff. But that's a lot of money, and you can take that and you can buy, you just have to sort of work differently. That's just a tool if you want. I don't really probably even have to tell you guys, you probably know better than I do. Um, the sun then moving, once we go into summer solstice, the sun, which is the 20th of June, the sun moves into Cancer. The sun is also illuminating that second house, also bringing energy into, and it's also a house where, um, with Jupiter there, Jupiter can make you more confident, and the sun there make you, it helps your sense of self. It's like a balm for you, and we are all struggling, um There's also the new moon that happens in the second house. This is a good time to plant seed for making money, starting a project, starting a garden, anything that's going to increase the value of something. And, you know, sometimes the only way to increase the value, you don't have money to say, oh, put money into this and this is going to look better, is you put your energy into it, you put your vision into it. And then you do here and there, you do a few things that you can do. And you make beautiful what you can make beautiful, right? Okay. Mercury does move pretty fast this month. It starts in your sign, moves into Cancer, and then towards the end of the month, it moves into Leo. It's going to spend a lot of time in Leo because next month it's going to go retrograde. So that'll be your third house, your Gemini house. So there'll be some miscommunications, but that's not this month. That's July. So we will focus on the positive here. Not that July will necessarily be all negative. It's just that um, Mercury retrograde when you're a Mercury ruled sign can be a bit of a challenge. Mars starts the month in Leo and then moves into Virgo relatively soon, but Mars has been in Leo for a long time. It was in Leo back in December, and then it went retrograde, and then it went back into Leo in February. It went direct. I think it went back into Leo in April. And so it's been, you know, moving through Leo for a long time. And in that third house, I don't know how your relationships with your siblings have been over the last 6 months, but that could be a problem with Mars retrograde in that area of your chart. But now it's going to move out of that third house, move into the fourth house in Virgo. It's a good time to do um, uh, some improvements, like home improvements, or you know, or make your space that you live in work better for you with Mars in Virgo, detail oriented, neat. This is also a great time to clean your house with Mars in Virgo in that fourth house. We do have the full moon in Sag. That happens early in the month when the sun is in Gemini. This is a relationship energy, of course. It's the first house and the seventh house. It's your natural axis. And so it's mentally stimulating and you know, talking to others about what you're passionate about is a good way to spend this full moon. Um, and also, I think that's also true of the fact that Saturn and Neptune, now both in Aries, and Venus are moving through that 11th house of friends. Um, a lot of new ideas coming in, a lot of initiating new ways of structuring things, new ways of imagining things. It's a very, very exciting time. They're very close to each other. The thing is Saturn is balsamic to Neptune, meaning that it is releasing to Neptune. And so Saturn is the structure of things. And in the last sign of the zodiac, the structure's pretty washed out. So by the time it moves into Aries, it's almost skeletal in the structure is almost skeletal. We sort of brought it down to its its girders, I guess, if you want to say, or its framing. And now it's time to rebuild it, right? Now, as when Saturn and Neptune come together, but that won't be until February, and make that conjunction at the first degree of Aries, and then Saturn starts to move away from Neptune, then we're actually taking the actions to structure that which we want to make real, that which we want to make real. And we have Venus moving into Taurus. She has been quite the warrior princess, being in Aries, then going retrograde, backing into Pisces, which she did like. She did like being in Pisces, turning around, coming back out, meeting up with Neptune. And it's been a wild ride, especially for April and May. May especially, a very powerful, womanly, uh, you know, uh, Xena warrior princess energy. So, but now she moves into her sign of Taurus in your 12th house. Venus loves being in Taurus. Venus loves being in the 12th house. Venus is happy. And it's nice that something that things are that there are parts that are happy. We still have Uranus in there. Uranus is going to step out in July, but then go back into your 12th house again. So it's close to your ascendant, the ascendant line or the cusp line between these two energies. So anytime something's close to a cusp, it shakes everybody up. You don't have to just have planets there, but especially these slower moving planets like Pluto, which we know how that's been, and Neptune now, back and forth. And now it's going to be Uranus, back and forth, and then Saturn back and forth. Really, it is such a shaking out of it's the proverbial tree, just like shake everything out. And then when it's out, you're going to go, what a mess. But at least you have a place to start. At least you know the things that are going to withstand it, are withstanding it, and continue to be a foundation for us to further build. We'll see what worked, we'll see what didn't work, and we'll reinvent everything. Um, the I think that the young people today understand that it's in their hands, and they want to I think they want, not all of them of course, but many of them, and I think they want to they get the reins and go in the direction that they want to go in for their planet. So we'll see. I'm optimistic about that, because I remember how I was when I was young. You're optimistic, you're young, you think that, you think you can change the world, and you can change the world, and it may be easier than ever to change the world now. So that's the story, Gemini glories. All right, let me stop this and we'll get to the card reading. I have, I wanted the deck I wanted, I can't find. So we're going to use this deck, which I love this deck. It's just not the deck I originally wanted to use. This is the Illuminati deck. One time I did a reading with these cards. I said reading on something with the Illuminati deck. And some guy saw Illuminati and thought I was into the Illuminati, or I don't know. And then he's like, oh, this is just a card reading. I'm like, yeah, okay. That was just like at the very beginning. Some of the weird stuff I got at the very beginning. People telling me I shouldn't do tarot. It's a sacred thing. It is. It is a sacred thing, but it's also a divination tool. It's a way that people can connect with the tarot by watching the tarot readers. All right. So, there's a lot to learn. I don't watch all the readers. I watch my favorite readers and I learned something, and hopefully they learned something from me. Some sort of gem. All right. Yeah, my neighbor's talking. And our neighbors are pretty far away. Never really hear them talking. Hmm. Let's see, what is up for Gemini? Oh, we have the Six of Cups. So you're in a nostalgic mood, very nostalgic. That's also, that happens when Jupiter moves into Cancer as well. You can get very nostalgic. But remember, when we look back at the past, we always sort of look at it with rose-colored glasses, But that's okay. If we best we, in a way, we do that here and there. But it can also be family issues coming up, issues from the past. And while it's a bucolic picture, it depends on your childhood. So is this about a wound in childhood, or is this about the joys of childhood, or wishing perhaps that you were carefree like you were when you were a child? You didn't really have responsibilities as a child, or maybe you had tons of responsibilities, right? Everybody has it differently. What's crossing it is the Seven of Wands. You feel attacked. I think you're feeling attacked. You're feeling like you have the right vision, you have the right perspective, and that people are coming at you. It's possible, is your perspective based on the past because of, the Six of Cups being a nostalgic card? Is it based on a wound that you had in childhood? Or is it based on that sense of connectedness that we feel? The sixes in the tower are all located in the Sephiroth, the yellow Sephiroth right there. Oop, I can't, there we go. Tippereth, which is connected, it's the heart energy. It's where the Christ consciousness is. And so it's a beautiful energy. In fact, most of the sixes in the tarot is there's rest, like rest from strain and stress and strain. And so maybe you are hoping for a little rest from stress and strain, but everybody's coming at you. Underneath it all is traveling, moving. You're either moving this month, or you're going to be doing more moving than usual, or maybe you're just moving along, um, so to speak, like changing residence. It could be, right? But it's also, the prince is the action of wands, and it's the action of spirits. So you might feel inspired to act uh, because your spirits are up, or it's something you truly believe in. You may even find yourself at a protest like the No Kings protest, which I think is happening all over the country except in Washington, D.C., because it's the same day as the big army tank thing that Dump wants to do. In the past, we have the King of Pentacles. So there was money bags. I don't know. Somebody funding in the past. In the past, there was good funding. There was good resources. There was a sense of being the head of something. Um, in the sky, we have the Ace of Cups. You're aspiring to be happy. You're aspiring to be happy. This can be a pie in the sky as well. This is you to make, this could be a little bit of a utopian sort of vision, and utopian don't really exist, honestly, but it's good to be positive. The power of positive thinking, right? In the immediate future, ooh, we have the High Priestess. Now, I've done 4 of these. This is my 4th tower scope, because I usually do 4 a day. So by the end of the month, I have all the tarot scopes together for you guys, right? Because it's too much to do it all at once. And this card has come up 3 times. This is the 3rd time this card has come up. There's only one sign that this card hasn't come up. And this is about uncovering of secrets. You might hear a secret. We might find something out, but something is going to be exposed. This is the energy of this card sits right there on the Tree of Life. See that blue path going down from the crown from the white circle up there to the yellow circle down there? That's this path. It is in the middle pillar, the pillar of transformation. It's direct connection from crown to heart. So this is a deep knowing. This is a deep knowing and a deep understanding as well. And so these energies can work in many different levels. Something could come out, right? Something that was hidden at one time now comes out. It could be as simple as that. Or it could be this deep sense of connectedness to God, heart to head to heart, right? How it's seen from the outside, that you're satisfied, maybe a little too satisfied, maybe a little too self-satisfied at times, but you certainly have all the cups. You're in the cups. Maybe people think you're drinking too much. That could be it too. Um, but yeah, so you have all the cups, but they're high up there. I don't know how this guy gets to the cups. It's almost like he aspires for these, but he can't quite reach them. I call this card in this deck Little Lord Fauntleroy. Uh, domestic domestic situation, the Empress. Now, I'm just going to say, I try not to do this. So I'm just going to say one thing at the end of what I think this is for most of us with who are doing the Gemini thing. This is feminine power. These two cards are the most powerful feminine archetypes in the deck. And you got both of them, which means you can be a powerful feminine energy. Um, you are abundant, you are powerful, right? Or if you're if there's an issue, you have an issue with women, the powerful woman can, but it's usually not a negative connotation. But if you happen to be, say, a melon colored belt, this could be Vlad. Okay, so just like, I'm gonna put that aside. I don't like to add him to this reading because this is not, although you could read this for him if you wanted to. Hopes and fears, the Ace of Pentacles, new opportunities. You're hoping for that, I imagine. You're not fearing new opportunities. Who would do that? Um, in the future, we have, or the outcome, we have the Princess of Swords. This is a spy in the camp sometimes. You see, she's she's a woman, but she's got a big sword. So sometimes she might not be strong enough to really wield the sword with uh great ability because it's just too heavy for her. She's sort of out of her league a little bit in this. So there's something about that. It could also be a young person. It could be somebody who um pokes at you, right? Like a pest, like a, like you think it feels like a mosquito because they're little, but they're pestering you. And it's trying to move you into something, for you to become aware of something, for you to pay attention. And then we have the Ace of Swords. So this is justice, guys. This is justice. Wow. I'll keep pulling, see if I can get a major arcana. The Five of Cups. There'll be some losses, but it's not something that you can't overcome, whatever that is. And the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands. This is another powerful woman. Um, she is the sustainer of spirit. She is the passionate queen. She's the psychic queen. She's independent. She knows her mind. You don't get away with anything with this one. But she's also passionate and people like her. People feel warm around her because she comes from her heart. So, well, all I know, if I was a melon felon, I'd be nervous about these cards. Let's see what's underneath it. We have the Prince of Swords. This can be the prince that goes into battle on what they believe, but they can create a lot of chaos. The Princess of Pentacles, which is a much different energy. It's much more calm, step by step. This is kind of an apprentice energy, wanting to learn something new. I almost feel like this is what beating swords into plowshares kind of energy, these two next to each other. And then we have the Three of Swords, which is heartbreak, but it's also a card of freedom. So it's not without its challenges, Gemini. It's not without its challenges, but if you're a well-intended person and you're not a criminal or a jerk or a misogynist or a liar, I wouldn't worry with these cards. It's just that you're gonna probably, you're gonna have to defend yourself, but there are opportunities. There are new opportunities coming. You have a good vision. You have to fight for what you believe in, and it looks like in the end of it, you really do. So it's important to you enough to fight for, and because of that, you're going to be successful in doing it. Okay, let me just pull a spirit animal oracle card. These are the same cards that Ona uses with giblets when she does time out with giblets on Sunday. I always watch it. Like, what card do I need to have this week? Uh, it's a really nice deck, and it's by Colette Baron Reed. She does a beautiful job. And the art's always, she doesn't do the art, but the art is always spectacular. Okay. Let's see, what do we got? Eagle spirit. Ooh, eagle spirit. Today I had a hawk fly over my head. All right. It was a little one, maybe a sharp shin or something like that. Eagle, eagle. Whoops, almost there. Okay, I'll hold it up and read it for you. Look at the crown. This eagle's got a crown on his head. Interesting. Think of eagles flying high above the other birds, soaring on the wind. Eagle spirit has appeared to ask you whether you're willing to soar to new heights, even if that means solitude for a short while. Truly, all the wisdom of the world is available to you. When storms flash across the sky, it is eagle spirit that raises you above it all, helps you to conquer your fear and overcome adversity, reminding you that spirit has your back and wants you to experience life in its fullest. At this moment, you are meant to know that you have the highest of wisdom and courage within, gifted to you by Spirit and all the angels. Boldly build your nest in a lofty space and know now you can fly effortlessly. Proudly embodying Eagle Spirit in all her glory and grace, claiming what is truly yours in divine timing. There you go. Eagle. Love it. All right, Gemini. I think it's going to be an interesting month. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you again next month for the Tarot Scopes for July. Until then, namaste.